This is the We Built This Business podcast. Today, we're running our How-To mini-series, where we speak with a business owner who is an expert in a particular area so that we can learn and do a deep dive and find out more information to help our own businesses. Welcome back to the We Built This Business podcast. Today, we are starting our new How to Get Customers series, and I'm pleased to have Ashley Leeds on the podcast talking about how to get customers on LinkedIn. Ashley is a LinkedIn coach, a trainer, and a mentor, and has been using LinkedIn for over 12 years. Ashley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Daniel. Really nice to see you, and thanks for having me on. No
problem. Looking forward to this conversation. So, Ashley, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. How long have you got? I'm known as a 15-minute guy because I teach LinkedIn in just 15 minutes a day. But I started my career as a chef. Met my wife. We wanted to start a family. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mum, so I went into sales. So I've got 30 years sales experience behind me and 30 jobs. And in all of that time, I know that people have purchased things from me because they know me, they like me, they trust me. And this is what I teach LinkedIn to do, is to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. So now I'm running my own business, teaching people how to use LinkedIn. 17 years ago, I started working in the accountancy profession, selling software to accountants. And so I'm still in that space, and I'm well known and respected in the accounting space. So much so that Accountex is coming up. It's a big exhibition for accountants and bookkeepers in London. It's the world's biggest. And they have invited me to host the LinkedIn Lounge. So yeah, it all went from being a chef to now being well known as a LinkedIn expert.
Fantastic. What a story that is. And I see you got a couple of guitars behind you as well, Ashley. You a bit of a musician?
I do like my music, yes. I started my career at the church choir, where I was an acolyte. That's the guy that carries the little candle behind the vicar. And so I used to sing there. I loved singing, went to school choir, did some musical theatre, auditioned for a band, and now I'm in 3 different bands. So I sing on my own. I go out as Just Dandy. I sing with a guy called Will Vine, and we go out as Vine and Dandy. And I also sing with a proper full-on rock band, and we're called Static Charge. So, I've got every base covered.
Amazing. Well, today's chat is about LinkedIn, and I've did a little bit of research about LinkedIn, and unbelievably, in the UK, we have 39 million users on LinkedIn. And the amazing thing about that is it's actually grown 10% in the last 12 months. So with social media, a lot of the traction they often get, takes time to build, but 10% growth in a year is very impressive. So today we want to talk about how to get customers on LinkedIn, and I'm building my own personal LinkedIn profile. I'm trying to post more, and it's hard work. It's not an easy job, and I must admit, you do get to a point where you don't know what to say. So I wanted to kind of start with, how do you make your profile stand out to a potential customer, Ashley?
Right. Okay. So I say it all the time. People buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. So you've got to be you. So many people, the first thing that we look at is your photo, and people sort of think, oh, it's LinkedIn. I have to be really smart and goodness knows what else. And right, when was the last time that I looked really smart? And they go back through their camera roll on their phone, and they find one of themselves with their partner at a wedding, wearing a nice frock or wearing a nice suit or something. So yeah, we'll use that one. And just in the photo, in the background, you can see hair of another person or something. That's not a decent photo. Or they may have climbed a mountain, or they may have been outside the Leaning Tower of Pisa or the Eiffel Tower or some, amazing monument. And there's a photo of them, putting their hands up in the air in front of this monument or something. You can't see that when you're looking at LinkedIn. So what we need is just your face. 60% of that circle on LinkedIn has to be your face. And if you put a strong color behind you, then you're going to pop out. So that's the key thing. Not many people do that. They have, photos of them holding their product. I saw one this morning of a guy holding like a billboard, why you need me. Yeah. On my mobile phone, that image is 4 millimeters big. It just looks like a white dot. So we don't know who he is. So that's the key thing. So you need to stand out. Also, behind your photo, there's what's called the cover photo, or the banner, as I like to call it. And that is a valuable piece of real estate. Now, if you had a shop in the center of town and you didn't have a sign above your shop, everyone would think you're crazy. But that's exactly what we're doing on LinkedIn without a decent banner. And then other people have, if you're listening to this on a podcast, it's not going to work. But I just want you to hold your finger up and look at your finger, because your finger is the same size as my banner on your mobile phone. And if I make the writing really, really small, you're not going to know what I do. You're not going to be able to read it. And we design it for the desktop, but 70% of people are just scrolling through their phones willy-nilly. So that banner has to tell me exactly what you do. Now, I might not want your services, but if I now know what you do, when I'm talking to somebody that needs an HR consultant or somebody that's good at cleaning drains, then I know exactly who I'm going to recommend. But if I have to think about what you do by looking at your profile, then that's really not going to help. So those are two key areas, Daniel.
Perfect. And I know when you had a little look at my profile and you said, you've got a smile as well. You've got a smile. And I was like, that is me smiling.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing a review of somebody's profile. So this is something I do for free. So if you find me on LinkedIn, go and find my free resources and I will review your profile for you. And I do this little video and I look at your profile and I tell you what I see and explain it. And there was this lovely looking lady, but it was like her passport photo, but probably when she was extremely naughty and was in prison. And it's that sort of image. And I sort of like, as I was doing the video review, I went, oh, I'm sorry, but it does look like... And she sent me a lovely message back. I totally get the point. And thank you for explaining it to me. But I mean it with love when I say these things. But sometimes I do question what some of these photos look like, because it's the first impression. If you were going for an interview or you were going to see somebody to close your biggest deal ever, are you going to turn up with shorts and flip-flops? And it's all about that. And you don't have to turn up in a suit, but as long as you're smart, presentable, and clean, that's what you're trying to do on LinkedIn. So you don't have to wear a suit on LinkedIn. Just be you. But make sure that photo's current as well.
Makes complete sense. Yeah, if you got a photo from 15 years ago, and then when they join you on a Zoom call, they're a bit confused of who's this person?
Who's that? Is this your dad or something?
So the content side of things, when you start posting, coming up with ideas, what to talk about, what kind of advice do you give people?
Just write about what you know. So many people think, oh, I do this, and so therefore I have to write about that. Think about the interaction that you have with other people. Think about LinkedIn as a great big networking event. There's loads of networking events nearby. We all go to different ones. We've got our favorite ones and we can get invited to others. Think about using LinkedIn like that. So when you go to a networking event, you bump into somebody for the first time, you go, oh, hi, and you have a little chat. You're not chatting about what you'll do. You're not selling them what you do. You're having a little bit of a chat. You're finding out a little bit about them. Maybe they traveled by car today. Maybe they came on the same train as you and they were at the front and you were at the back. Whatever it is, you try and find some common ground and you build up a little bit of a relationship. You start to get to know them. As you're having that conversation, it may be the next time you go to that networking meeting, you bump into them again, you get to like them. Yeah, so you start to know them, you get to like them, and then over time you build up that trust. Now, if you do that on LinkedIn, it's exactly the same. So write about things that people want to read about. And I get told off by people coming to me. They said, I've written this amazing bit of content. It tells you all this, this, and this. I said, yeah, but it's boring. Nobody wants to read it. They want to know what you were doing at the weekend. They want to know about your guitar. Why have you got a red guitar, Ashley? Yeah? Why? You've got a different headstock. Is that a Fender? That if I start writing about why I've bought a Fender guitar, then people are going to go, oh, I've got a Fender. I really like Fenders. Or no, I like a Gibson. And all the guitarists in the room are going to come and have a little chat with me because they identify with me. So that's what we want to do is make content that is engaging. Every now and again, we need to say that we're selling something. Every now and again, we need to give a bit of advice. But you've got to balance it out. It's all about balance.
We have a business page that we've worked very hard on for about 3 or 4 years, and it's built up 2,000 followers. It's called Team Building Experiences, and every time we post on it, we get about 2 likes. And every time I post on my personal profile, I get about 20 likes, even though it's pretty much the same stuff. Is LinkedIn pushing profiles that are personal over business?
I don't know about that. I have never worried about the algorithm. I just go out there and do my stuff. But if you have a think about the way you use LinkedIn, you're scrolling through on your phone, okay, and you'll see some content. It looks corporate, yeah? If it looks corporate, are you going to stop and read it, or are you going to scroll on by? And so that's what happens. Our corporate pages, our business pages look corporate. It'll look like they're advertising something. Whereas a personal post is, I did a post a while back about my daughter's birthday. I went into a shop and purchased a balloon. We in our family, if it's your birthday, you get a helium balloon on your chair when you come down for breakfast. If we didn't do that, there would be all hell to pay. My daughter's 28, okay? But if she didn't have a balloon, that's what we do. So I bought this balloon and I was carrying it home, and I said to my wife, take a photo of me with the balloon. It was funny. I created the post on LinkedIn. The engagement I got on that post was incredible. So incredible, I actually created a video talking about why we should do personal posts on LinkedIn. So that's now on my YouTube channel. And this is the thing. No one's interested in you in a balloon. Yes, they are. Because it shows you as a real person. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And there's going to be people that looked at that post and thought, oh my goodness, what a weirdo. Don't want to work with him. He's got a balloon. It's pink. He's walking up the street with it. Cool. That's what sort of guy is that? Don't want to work with him. Brilliant. Because if you think like that, I don't really want to work with you. I want to work with people that go, oh, what a fun guy. Oh, what a nice guy. He loves his daughter. Oh, isn't that sweet that he's bought a balloon? Isn't that cool that he doesn't care what people think of him as he walks up the street with a balloon? Those are the people that I want to attract. And by doing the personal posts that I do, that's the people I am attracting. And if that's not you, that's fine, because you will attract your tribe. And that's what we've got to do. And I think we worry too much. I was talking to one of my new clients, and she said, I didn't think I could do that on LinkedIn because I was worried about the LinkedIn police. Because what happens is someone will come onto your post and go, this shouldn't be on LinkedIn. This is only for Facebook. And the funny thing is, here's the thing. The more you engage with those types of posts, the more the algorithm will push those posts to you. So the person that's tapping out, this should be on Facebook, is going to see lots of posts like that, because that's what they're engaging with. And that is what LinkedIn thinks they like. So yeah, it's making sure that your post is engaging.
Amazing. And the key to getting that engagement is through the personal posting. That's effectively what the algorithm is looking for at the moment. So from my point of view, when I post a picture of Charlie, who's our office dog, we get fantastic engagement. And that is the key. It's, like you said, it's personal. And social media is all about people. Whereas my perception always has been LinkedIn has been business. And I think that's quite a common perception that, because you're on LinkedIn, it must be a business post. And like you say, you almost feel like there's the LinkedIn police out there coming, this deserves to be on Facebook. What are you doing posting this?
It is funny.
There's a guy called Tom Hunt who runs a company called Fame.so, and he regularly posts pictures of him on the beach, essentially walking with his dog. And he's had over 10 million organic followers, or 10 million organic impressions over the last 90 days, according to this podcast I just recently listened to. And that is phenomenal reach. So when it comes to the difference between a follower and a connection, what is the importance of either?
I get asked this question so much. LinkedIn are changing how they do it, but they did have something called creator mode. Now, creator mode was designed to help creators get more content out there and loads of other things. If you turned on creator mode, you changed from a connection to a follower. So if I found your profile and you had creator mode switched on, I wouldn't be able to connect with you. The main button that I see is follow. Now, if I click the more button, I then get the follow, the connect option, and vice versa. So if you've got connect, but I only want to follow you, you can click the more button and then you see the follow. Now, here's the thing. If I connect with you, Daniel, I will see all of your content. You will see all of my content. Well, that's not some of it, yeah, not all of it. But I get to see your content because we're connected. If I follow you, I will see your content. You will not see mine. Okay. If we're connected, we can send each other a DM. If I follow you, I cannot DM you. So if you want to have a relationship with somebody and feel that they can help you or you can help them, then you need to connect with them, because one day you want to send them a DM and stuff like that. If all you're doing is just finding out a little bit more about them, then just follow them. Yeah. I've got an awful lot more followers than I have connections. And people like Stephen Bartlett and all the big famous people, they've got millions and millions of followers because you're only allowed 30,000 connections. So, for you and me, it really doesn't matter whether we connect or whether we follow, because we're never going to have millions of followers. But it's about the relationship that you're making with those people. So the other thing is, it's also psychological, because I get people messaging me or commenting on my posts. The best one is when someone buys my book, they'll do a post of themselves with the books, and I've just bought the book, and they tag me in it. It blows my mind, and I often send them a message or a video or something and say, "Thank you ever so much. You made my day." But by doing all of that, they're sort of like, "Oh, that's amazing." But most people don't want to connect with you for fear of rejection. So it's easier just to click the follow button. And sometimes if I see somebody, they've followed me and I want to connect with them, I'll reach out and say, "Hey, you've only followed me. Why don't we connect?" And so then we connect and everything's fine. So sometimes it's a psychological thing, and it's quite easy just to follow somebody. The other thing with, if you have premium, you get the follow button, you get the embed code, and you can actually put that on any of your websites. So on my website, on my homepage, there's the follow button for LinkedIn. So you can just click on that and follow me straight away. So it just makes it easier for people to see what you're doing.
Amazing. I didn't know any of that. I must admit, I just connect with people that I want to either talk to now or talk to in the future. That's it's really good knowledge share there, because I must admit, I didn't know any of that. I'll have to have a look into that connection option as well. LinkedIn's changing. I'm seeing more and more video on LinkedIn every day. How do you use video on LinkedIn?
That's a great question. First thing is, you need to get over the fact that it's scary. You need to get yourself out there. The very first day of lockdown, I started doing a video of me on Facebook playing my guitar, because at lunchtime, I normally go for a walk. We weren't allowed out. So I did that. If you'd have said to me on that day that in 3 years' time, in a year's time, you'll be running your own business. In 3 years' time, you'll be doing stuff internationally. You'll be hosting a LinkedIn Lounge at the world's biggest accountancy show. I'd have just laughed at you. But what's happened is because I've done all these videos, people are starting to build up that know, that like, that trust. They're starting to see the real person. Now, there's so much AI out there today. Did that person actually write that post? Is it their own thoughts? Now, if you're stood in front of a camera nattering, talking, speaking, whatever it is you do, showing something, describing something, demonstrating something, people are getting to see the real you. And we see some of these videos online and they're amazing, and Steven Spielberg has edited it and they've got the best lighting in the world and the world's most expensive camera and all of that. No one cares. No one cares. We're quite happy with someone walking down the street with their mobile phone, talking into it as they're walking. It's a little bit bouncy, because that's totally real. That is really, really you. And what we're doing is we're getting eyeballs people are eyeballing us and really getting to understand our nuances and how we feel and how we do things. Now, here's the thing. You'll do a post, you'll get, let's say, 1,000 impressions. This is a normal post, a text post or an image post or something. You get 1,000 impressions, 3 comments and a couple of likes. Yeah, that's great. When I do a video, I get no impressions, nobody likes it, all of that. Do you know what I mean? And that seems to be the thing. So if I do a post, it's up here. If I do a video, it's down here. So what is the point? Now, what I say to people is go in the back end of the analytics, because if you go in the back end of the analytics, you can see how many people have actually watched that video. But more importantly, you can see the minute count, how much time people have actually been looking at your video. All right. Every single Monday, without fail, I put my video out of 5 ideas of what you can post on LinkedIn. I am getting about between 100 and 150 minutes watched of that video. It's a 2 or 3 minute video. So that's nearly 2 hours of people hearing me, seeing me, feeling me. I get messages from people. I love your video on a Monday. It just sets me up for the week. Whatever. Yeah. For every single comment I get, there's probably 10 people that have gone, oh, like that. Good idea, that. Yeah. But what they're doing is they're starting to understand who I am, what I'm like. And if they want to work with me in the future, it's probably because they've watched one of my videos.
I like that. I must admit, I haven't posted a video on LinkedIn yet. We post on TikTok, we post on YouTube, but yeah, we haven't been brave enough to post on LinkedIn. So I think that's something that we're going to have to look into.
And you're going to look into that today, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because if you're already doing it, if you're already doing it, there's nothing to stop you doing it over on LinkedIn. It is exactly the same. It really is exactly the same.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that impression again about the business side of things, and the type of content that should be on LinkedIn. And I think
there is no law to the type of content that should be on LinkedIn.
There's no LinkedIn police coming over around that corner.
No, no. Unless you write the word massage, because I've just launched my brand new course, and basically you come to Sidmouth and you spend the day with me, and then someone else has turned around and said, oh, you should charge more and do more. And I thought, well, maybe I could do a massage as well. I wrote the word massage in this comment back to this person, and I had this pop-up come up. Your post contains words that may offend people. Do you really want to post it? Because it could get pulled down. And, oh my goodness. So I changed massage to back rub. It was fine.
Wow. I didn't know that. So it comes up with a little alert.
Yeah, it comes up with a little warning. That's my post for next. That's my post for next week.
If you put some more, adventurous words out there, what we would say.
Well, you'd have thought massage was okay, but maybe in the context, because I used the word later on, and it was fine. Yeah. So it's in the context, isn't it?
100%. Getting customers, Ashley. So one of the big things is obviously ROI. People invest in their LinkedIn profile because they want to get customers. Can you talk through a success that one of your clients has had as a result of working with you and what that did for them?
So I work with a guy called Ben Westerby. Ben Westerby is a financial FD guy. He does outsourced finance director stuff. So, quite high-end accounting sort of stuff. So, if you're running a small business, you'll probably have a bookkeeper. If your business is a bit bigger, you might have an accountant. If you're running quite a large business, you might need a financial director. Well, to hire a financial director full-time is a huge amount of money. So somebody like Ben would come in. Ben started doing something on a Friday as part of content. And this something wasn't Finance Friday. It wasn't Financial Fiscal Friday or anything like that at all. He told a joke. Yeah, this is a financial guy, an eminent accountant. And he wrote the joke and he posted it and what have you. He now does a video of a joke and tells this joke. Now he is by his own admission, not any of any of these amazing comedians that you see. He's just an accountant. But if he hasn't created that content by 8 a.m. on a Friday, he gets people messaging him saying, where's the joke today? When he goes to networking meetings locally, people turn around to him and say, oh, you're the guy I've seen on LinkedIn. You're the guy that tells jokes. All right? He has even had somebody that's seen the joke and then contacted him and has now become a client. Nothing to do with his top tips about finance, his ideas about saving money on tax, or ideas of any other things that he's done. It's because of that joke. That, to me, is success, because he is standing out for being different. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have a financial guy like Ben than the typical thoughts that we have of these types of people. And so what he's doing, he's just standing out. And when I talk about him and when I do presentations at accounting gigs, you can see some of the people in the audience frowning or thinking this guy's a complete idiot. But what Ben is doing is Ben is being himself. Ben is being authentic. And Ben is sharing what he loves.
Love that. Everyone needs a bit more fun in accounting as well.
Too right.
Lovely. So let's go through a bit of a summary, Ashley. So top tips for getting customers on LinkedIn.
So be personable, be yourself, be authentic. The word I use is the C word, and that is consistency. Just be there all the time. Now, remember that I teach that LinkedIn is like a big networking event. Yeah. If you went to your local networking event once a year, you're not going to get any business. If you went once a week, all right, you may get business. If you went every single week and talked to lots of different people in the room, you'll have too much business and you won't know what to do with it. And that's exactly the same with LinkedIn. And this is why I'm the 15-minute guy, because I teach people to go in, do the 15 minutes. Yeah. My strategy and framework is, go in, do your 15 minutes, get that done, and then you can come out. What happens is you see that you how it works. You'll do more than that. But initially, just do the 15 minutes. We can all find 15 minutes. And I teach people to get into a habit. And, if you're listening to this podcast, I bet you brushed your teeth this morning. And that's because your toothbrush is by the sink. It's a habit. And that's what we need to do with LinkedIn. Make it a habit, and it just happens.
Fantastic. Really good advice. So, Ashley, people that want to find more about you, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously. But here's the thing. Because I've been talking about the 15-minute guy for so long, if you Google the 15-minute guy, I come up. I was doing this on a presentation, and someone Googled it and said, "Oh my goodness, you're higher than Joe Wicks," because he does a 15-minute exercise thing. Ashley Leeds, you can find me on LinkedIn. I've got a YouTube channel with loads of helpful videos. If you find me on LinkedIn, I've got loads of free resources as well. And my website is just.15mins.day. So you can find loads of different things there as well. And again, like I say, loads of free resources.
Brilliant. Lovely to speak with you today, Ashley. I've learnt loads. I hope our listeners also have learnt from you as well. And I've really, really enjoyed learning how to get customers on LinkedIn, because it's a massive market and every business owner out there should be posting regularly, in my opinion. So I think it's only going to get bigger. Well, that was another episode of We Built This Business podcast. Until next week, see you then.